was a tough game. I thought our guys fought. They played their hearts out. And I think Houston just made a lot of plays. They made the plays they needed to make. Made late clock possession plays, tough shots. And, to beat a team like that, you have to do things better. You can't allow those type of shots, or those type of opportunities, because there's a reason why they're a top 5 team in the nation. And so hats off to them for, how they executed and made those plays. And we just have to continue to get better and still find a way to win.
You guys got it to 5 late in the second half, just had opportunities to even get it closer, just couldn't get over that hump, and things kind of got away from you. What kind of got you to that point, and what did you need to do better in that time frame?
Well, a few things. I think Taylor picking up his 4th hurt us. I mean, I thought it was a great game, and I thought both he and Walker are 2 of the most talented freshmen in the country. I thought it was a great game, and so we lost him during part of that time, and that didn't help us none, because he was playing well, and they were battling back and forth. And so that didn't help. And then, of course, we cut to 5. And then, a guy throws in, how many last second, shots did they throw in? Where guys hit late shot clock shots. And so we have to be better where those shots don't affect us as much. And the way you're better is you're not in a position where you're playing catch up all the time. Because those shots hurt you more. They don't hurt you as much if you're up 12. It hurts you when you're down 6 and 7 and 8. And so we have to do a better job of establishing that where we're not playing catch-up so that those shots don't have the impact that they had on us.
What was your thinking on how long you kept him out? Were you thinking about when to bring him back?
Definitely. You're looking at a freshman, so and you're looking at one of the best coaches in the country, so you know what the game plan is going to be at that point. It's going to be find ways to put him in a position where you can attack him. So either he backs off and you get easy baskets, or he fouls you. So he puts us in a precarious situation there. So what we did was we tried to just time it where we could bring him back. So I think we sat him about 4 or 5 minutes, maybe 5, and then we brought him back with what we felt would be ample time to make a run. And I thought we did. We still cut to 5 during that time, except Snead threw up a, last second 3. We have a flagrant foul happening during that sequence, which gives them 2 free throws and the ball back. So they extend the lead and get the ball so they can run more clock and get another shot attempt. So those things kind of hurt, when you're trying to play catch up.
What did you see on that flagrant foul on Horton?
I haven't seen it. So, I just know they called it flagrant. We were more concerned about the foul being called because we felt the shot clock had gone off before the foul was called. So I was more concerned with that. I had no idea it was even a flagrant. No one even said that. And then as I went to the monitor, then it was a flagrant foul. So, I thought it was just more or less a foul, and it happened after, the shot clock, so we were going to get the ball.
Coach,
What did you think of Darius Johnson's tonight? Darius Johnson's played tonight, first time back in 3 weeks, 30 minutes.
For the first time back, and he's practiced, when I say sparingly, I mean sparingly in the last couple of days. For him to come out and have that type of performance against this type of team, bodes well for us as he starts to round himself back in shape and get his timing back. We're fighting right now with some guys who aren't, I'm not saying you ever full strength this time of the season because something's always going on. It's a long year. But, we have a few guys, and Darius being one of them, who, as they continue to get healthier, I think we get better.
Was there a moment where you guys thought about maybe not having him play, or was he kind of adamant, and did he kind of let you guys know he really wanted to play in this game?
He wanted to play. He would. But the progression he was in, it had timed out where he'd probably be ready to go this game, and he was. And so, he was ready. When I talked to him, I asked him how he felt. Did you want to, be reinserted back in the lineup to kind of give him another shot in the arm too? He was like, yes. So that's when I knew he was ready, because he didn't. A lot of guys were like, oh, well, bring me in off the bench and let me. He was like, no, Coach, I can go right from the start.
They had 16 offensive rebounds tonight, Coach.
Yes.
How does those extra possessions affect you, especially in this stretch of a tough game?
They hurt you. It's an 11-point ball game, and they're +8 on second chance points. Just that alone just hurts you, and we have to be better in that area. Our biggest thing that we need to concentrate on is rebounding the basketball. We have to be better, and we have been a really good rebounding team. But as of late, and this being the game, of course, Houston's one of the best in the nation at it every year. We have to understand the importance of boxing out and rebounding the ball.
Where was this team defensively?
Not where we were, 3 weeks ago. We're not defending to that level. We're getting up 80 points again, and so we're not defending to a level that we would like, and we have to turn that around. But some of it's happening because of the rebounds. I mean, again, you're 16 second chance points. You knock 12 or 14 of those off, all of a sudden you're scoring 68, 67. So it's a lot more palatable. So we have to do a better job of eliminating the second shot. I think our first shot defense a lot of times has been pretty good. It's the shot or the reshot that's hurt us, and we have to do a better job of eliminating that.
How much does Michael Durr being out impact that?
It definitely does. That's our. He's a fifth-year senior. He's a banger. He's a rebounder, and so of course, you don't have a player like that or a player like C.J. Walker, of course, who plays above the rim like Taylor. Those rebounds, take care of themselves a little bit. We don't have those guys, so we have to understand our personnel and ask our guys to give us more because they can. They're capable, they're talented, and they just have to give us more in that area.
Obviously going through a rough stretch here. This game is always going to be tough, but what do you want to see from the guys between now and noon on Saturday to break out of this?
Well, we have to reset. We have to have a reset. We're going through a tough stretch right now of games that we're playing, teams that we're playing, 2 on the road, tough competition at home against a top 5 team in the nation. It's a tough stretch. What we need to do is we need to learn and grow from this. This will help us get better. As we start to get our chemistry back with our guys getting healthy, which they are, and we start to understand, what holes do we need to plug in our game, which we see, and then we can start improving in those areas. The thing that we have is our guys are all conscientious. They want to do well. They want to do well for our university. They want to do well for our team. So their attitudes are great. So as long as their attitudes stay great and it stays about our team, then we'll find ways to get out of this and move forward and win.
Your team has battled Houston twice now. How do you measure your team against theirs?
First, I think that we played a lot of good teams this year, and I think they're the best team that we played. And I think, we've been competitive, and I think we've not been able to get over the hump for one reason or another. Both games were different. I think the first game it was more turnovers. The second game, it was more the offensive rebounds and fast break points for them. So we have to do a better job at identifying those things and try to shore them up for us. And then we know we can play on that caliber, that kind of level. Now, like I said, they're definitely better. They won both games. So that's obvious. But I think we can compete, and now we have to go from competing to winning. We have to go from competing against a team of that caliber to winning against a team of that caliber. And that's kind of where we are.
Coach, earlier we talked to Coach Sampson, and when we kind of asked about the future and what he thought about facing UCF and going into Big 12 and all that, and he concluded something along the lines of saying, as long as you guys have Dawkins, y'all gonna be okay. How do you respond to that praise from Coach Sampson?
Well, I have a lot of respect for Coach Sampson. And I always have. Just a great coach, great competitor, and I love what he does with his teams. We look at them and what they do, and that's why I think they've been so successful. He has a great formula. And he has a great culture. His culture is so strong, and that's to me a sign of who he is as the coach. So so I have nothing but highest of praise for him and his family, great family, and and I think he's represented this league well, and I think he'll continue to do something similar in the Big 12 as well.
Largest crowd here since the Illinois game, Coach, where the student section was overflowing. Just describe that atmosphere tonight.
It was beautiful. And as you know, we're going to have that, where we're headed and where we're going, and even in our league right now, we're going to have that. It's so competitive. People coming here, teams are really good, really talented. And if you don't have a home court atmosphere like it was tonight, then we're at a disadvantage. Because when we go on the road to play those teams, they're going to have this type of home court advantage. They're going to have, a packed student section. They're going to have people in the stands. And to the point, as we move forward, those programs are going to travel. So which means they're going to bring a lot of people in our building. If we're not careful, you'll have half the building be Kansas fans or something like that. So we have to understand the importance of the timing of right now, starting to establish like we did today, who we're going to be as a program, because it's going to be all hands on deck. We can't do it without our community.
But you got to win.
Absolutely, it's definitely a fine line with that. And I think we mostly win at home. To be quite frank, we haven't lost too much at home in my career here. At least I don't think we have. So that's been happening. So now it needs everybody still to kind of get on board. This is a nice one-off game, and they're a very good team. But I think we've more than held our own at home, most of the time we've been here.
So how important is it for the fans to come this Saturday against Tulsa at noon? How much does that mean to you guys, all the players? Or Temple, sorry. How big is it that the fans show up this Saturday at noon against Temple? How does it mean to you guys and the players?
It's huge again. Temple's a very good team. You know, you're talking about some of the wins they've had. They've been up and down, but they've had a really good year. I mean, I think they beat Villanova, Big 12 team. They beat Rutgers, a Big 10 team. I mean, they have some good wins out of conference. And, of course, in conference, they beat Houston at Houston. So, of course, you're playing against another very good basketball team. And so for us, we need everybody, like I said, all hands on deck. We all pulling in the same direction. You know, it's ironic, you know, you mentioned about fans and winning to do that. I was 11-17 at Duke, and it was always full. My first year. I never saw it empty. I don't understand how we weren't winning. But they were with us. And then when we started winning, they stayed with us.
Coach, you had Taco Fall visit the team this week. What was the biggest takeaway, the biggest thing that he imparted onto the team that you want them to take with them as they go into this next matchup?
You know, Taco spoke to our team yesterday, and he was great. He talked about, you know, looked up at his banner, pointed to his banner, and said, this is what this is about. It's about leaving your legacy. It's about leaving it better for the next group that comes behind you, where they have something to pursue and something to try to achieve. And it resonated with our guys. You see in their eyes, so everybody kind of looked up, and their eyes got wide. And because it was powerful, you know. First of all, his presence is so powerful anyway. And then when he says what he says about, you know, his experience, how much he loved this experience here, loved playing for us, as well as, you know, what just like I said about the banner being up there and leaving your legacy, it was really, really good. I thought our guys it really resonated with our team.
Taylor Hendricks
Appreciate
had four blocks defensive. You speak about his impact on that side of the ball.
You know, Taylor's definitely a two-way player. I mean, he can defend, he can rebound, he can block shots, and you know, he just goes out there and plays to win. And that's the thing I love about him. He you know, he keeps his demeanor the same way all the time. He's never too high, he's never too low. And he just looks to make basketball plays. And he made a couple of tremendous blocks, of course, at the rim today, and blocks that would have, you know, of course, that really helped us. And so just foul trouble kind of got to him a little bit, which hurt us some. And he's a freshman. I mean, what do you know, in that situation, you know, he has to understand his value to our team and try to stay out of those situations. But you know, that just comes through experience.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys. Good.